The convention center in Austin hummed with the energy of 300 brilliant teenage minds, all hunched over laptops, fingers flying across keyboards in a symphony of clicking keys and occasional frustrated sighs. My daughter Zara sat in row 12, seat 43, her dark curls pulled back in a high ponytail, her brown eyes locked on the screen with the kind of focus that made the rest of the world disappear. She was wearing her Lucky Coding hoodie, the navy blue one with "Girls Who Code" emblazoned across the back, and her noise-canceling headphones that blocked out everything except the problem in front of her. The National Youth Technology Championship. For rounds of increasingly complex coding challenges. The top 3 finalists would win scholarships. Third place got $15,000, second place got $30,000, and first place, the grand prize, was $50,000 and a guaranteed internship at Silicon Valley's most prestigious tech company. $50,000. Enough to cover most of Zara's first 2 years at MIT, her dream school. Enough to change our lives in ways I'd been praying for since her father walked out 3 years ago, leaving us with nothing but debt and broken promises. I stood in the observation gallery above the competition floor, along with other parents who'd traveled from across the country. My hands were clenched so tight my nails dug crescents into my palms. Zara had been preparing for this for 18 months. Every weekend spent at coding boot camps. Every evening practicing algorithms until midnight. Every dollar I could scrape together from my job at the public library went toward her computer science courses and competition fees. She was in second place going into the final round. Second place. So close I could taste it. The massive screen at the front of the hall displayed the rankings in real time. Zara Chen, Chicago, Illinois, currently sat at rank 2 with 2,847 points. Just 156 points behind the leader, a kid from California named Marcus Webb. The final challenge had just been released: build a functional app that solves a real-world problem using machine learning, complete with clean code, user interface, and documentation. They had 3 hours. 3 hours that would determine Zara's future. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I almost ignored it. Nothing in the world mattered more than watching my daughter compete, but something made me glance at the screen. Mom. My stomach twisted. She knew about this competition. I'd told her 3 months ago, reminded her twice, sent her the schedule. She knew today was the most important day of Zara's life. Sophia, where are you? I stared at the text, confused. Where did she think I was? I texted back quickly. At Zara's coding competition in Austin. The national championship. Remember? 3 dots appeared immediately. Then disappeared. Then appeared again. You need to leave now and come back to Dallas. Your sister needs you. My heart stopped. My sister? Was she hurt? Was there an emergency? What happened? Is Emma okay? The response came fast and sharp. She has a nail appointment at 2 p.m. and her regular salon is closed. You need to take her to that place you go to in your neighborhood. She can't miss this appointment, she has a date tonight. I read it 3 times. 4 times. Surely I was misunderstanding. Surely my mother wasn't asking me to leave my daughter's championship competition, the one that could win her $50,000 and change her entire future, so I could drive my 26-year-old sister to get her nails done. My fingers trembled as I typed. Mom, I can't. I'm 4 hours away. Zara's in the middle of the final round. This is for a $50,000 scholarship. The reply was instant. Emma's date is with the son of Dad's business partner. This is important. Zara has plenty of time for competitions. Family comes first. Family comes first. Those words that had been used to manipulate me my entire life. Family comes first, so babysit your sister even though you have finals tomorrow. Family comes first, so cancel your plans to drive mom to her book club. Family comes first, so give up your college fund to pay for your sister's wedding. I looked down at Zara through the glass. She was completely absorbed, her fingers flying, occasionally pausing to sketch something on her notepad before diving back into code. She had no idea that 200 miles away, her grandmother was demanding I abandon her. My phone buzzed again. This time it was my sister, Emma. Mom said you're being difficult. Seriously? It's just a coding thing. She can do another one. I need you to take me to get my nails done. This date could change my life. A coding thing. 18 months of preparation. $50,000. Her entire future. Reduced to just a coding thing. Before I could respond, my father chimed in. Your mother is right. This family has made enough sacrifices for Zara's hobbies. Emma's relationship with the Morrison family is crucial for our business. Get in your car and come home. Hobbies. My daughter's gift for technology, her dreams of becoming a software engineer, her scholarship competition, hobbies. Another text from my mother. You're being incredibly selfish. Emma has been crying for an hour. Do you know how that makes me feel? Why do you always have to make everything so difficult? Then my sister again, this time in all caps. I bet you're ignoring us on purpose. You always choose Zara over your own family. You're a terrible sister. I looked at my phone, then at Zara, then back at my phone. The messages kept coming, one after another, each one more accusatory, more demanding, more toxic than the last. You've always been selfish. Zara is spoiled because you enable her. A real daughter would help her sister. This is why your husband left, you only care about yourself. That last one from my mother made something inside me crack. The mention of David, who'd left us drowning in debt while he started a new life in Seattle with his 23-year-old girlfriend. As if I'd driven him away by caring too much about our daughter. My hands shook as I gripped the railing of the observation deck. Down below, Zara was completely focused, building something that would determine whether she got to follow her dreams or whether we drowned in student loan debt. And my family wanted me to abandon her. For nail polish. Another buzz. If you don't leave right now, don't bother coming to Thanksgiving. Or Christmas. We're done with your attitude. I stared at that message. The ultimatum. Choose them or choose Zara. Choose their endless demands and guilt trips and manipulation, or choose my daughter's future. For 38 years, I'd always chosen them. I'd twisted myself into knots trying to be the good daughter, the helpful sister, the reliable one who dropped everything when they called. I'd sacrificed my own dreams, my own needs, my own life on the altar of family comes first. But this wasn't about me anymore. This was about Zara. My brilliant, passionate, hard-working daughter who'd poured everything into this moment. The choice was suddenly crystal clear. I opened my messages and typed slowly, deliberately. No. Just that one word. Then I blocked my mother's number. Then my father's. Then Emma's. The silence was immediate and profound. I looked down at Zara, who had just leaned back in her chair, stretching her arms above her head before diving back into her code. She had no idea what had just happened. No idea that I'd just severed ties with my entire family to stand by her. And I felt no regret. Only clarity. Because watching my daughter chase her dreams was worth more than 1,000 family dinners filled with guilt and demands. She was my family. She was what mattered. Everything else could burn. 2 hours passed in a blur of tension and hope. I watched Zara work with the intensity of someone who knew exactly what was at stake. Around her, other competitors were starting to show signs of stress. Some were leaning back with frustrated expressions, others were frantically typing, a few had given up entirely and sat staring at their screens in defeat. But Zara was in the zone. I could see it in the way she moved, the confident rhythm of her typing, the occasional small smile when she solved a particularly tricky problem. This was what she was born to do. My phone had been blessedly silent since I'd blocked my family's numbers. No more guilt trips. No more demands. Just peace to focus on what actually mattered. But the peace didn't last long. A commotion near the entrance of the observation deck made me turn. And there, storming through the door with the fury of a Category 5 hurricane, was my mother, with Emma right behind her. My heart sank. How did they even get here? Austin was 4 hours from Dallas. They must have left the second I stopped responding to their texts. Sophia. My mother's voice cut across the quiet observation area, making every parent turn to stare. We need to talk. Now. Several officials moved toward her, trying to maintain the quiet atmosphere, but she waved them off imperiously. She'd always had that way about her, acting like rules didn't apply to her, like the world should bend to her will. I walked toward her quickly, trying to contain the situation before she disrupted the entire competition. How did you get in here? You're not registered. Don't you dare lecture me about registration. Her eyes were blazing. You blocked our numbers. You ignored your sister's crisis. And for what? So your daughter can play on a computer? She's competing for a $50,000 scholarship, I said quietly, aware of the stares. I told you this months ago. Emma stepped forward, her face red and splotchy from crying. Her hair was perfect, her makeup flawless, but her nails, the center of this entire crisis, were a perfectly acceptable shade of pink. Not chipped, not broken. Just not fresh. My date is in 3 hours, she said, her voice shaking with emotion. 3 hours, Sophia. And you couldn't even help me. What kind of sister are you? The kind who prioritizes her child's future over your manicure. My mother's hand flew up like she might slap me, but she stopped herself, trembling with rage. How dare you? After everything we've done for you. We raised you. We gave you everything. And this is how you repay us? You gave me everything? I heard my voice rising and forced it back down. You gave me guilt. You gave me manipulation. You taught me that my needs didn't matter, that I existed only to serve this family's convenience. That's not true. It is true. It's always been true. I felt something breaking open inside me, years of suppressed frustration pouring out. When I got accepted to Northwestern for journalism, you convinced me to go to community college instead so I could help with Emma. When David proposed, you insisted on a small wedding so you could spend that money on Emma's dream wedding 2 years later. When I got the library job, you were angry I couldn't babysit anymore whenever you wanted. That's called being a family, my mother hissed. No, that's called being used. I looked at Emma, who was staring at me with genuine shock, like she'd never considered any of this before. And I'm done. I'm done sacrificing my daughter's future for your convenience. If you walk away from us now, my mother started. Then I walk away. And Zara and I will be just fine without you. The silence that followed was deafening. Emma looked between us, seeming smaller somehow, younger. My mother's face had gone from red to white, her expression a mixture of shock and fury and something that might have been heard if I believed she was capable of it. You'll regret this, she said finally, her voice cold. When you need us, and you will need us, don't come crawling back. I won't. They left, their expensive shoes clicking angrily against the floor, leaving a wake of shocked whispers behind them. I stood there, shaking, feeling like I'd just jumped off a cliff with no idea if I could fly. But when I looked down at Zara, still coding away with complete focus, completely unaware of the drama that had just unfolded above her, I knew I'd made the right choice. A gentle hand touched my shoulder. Another mother, someone I'd chatted with earlier, gave me a sympathetic smile. Family? She asked quietly. Not anymore, I said. Good for you, she replied firmly. Your daughter is lucky to have you. I watched Zara, my brilliant girl, and felt something settle in my chest. Maybe I'd lost my family today. But I'd gained something more valuable, the absolute certainty that I would always, always choose my daughter. And that was worth everything. The final 30 minutes of the competition were the longest of my life. The observation deck had slowly filled with parents, mentors, and officials as the rankings tightened. On the massive screen, the leaderboard updated every 5 minutes, and each time it refreshed, my heart either soared or sank. Zara had climbed to first place. Then dropped to third when two other competitors submitted their projects. Then fought her way back to second. The kid from California, Marcus Webb, had held on to first place with an iron grip, his point total steadily climbing. But Zara was close. So desperately close. With 15 minutes left, she was 89 points behind. I pressed my hands against the glass, watching her work. She'd taken off her headphones now. Most competitors had in these final minutes, the stress too intense for isolation. Her face was set in determined concentration, her fingers moving across the keyboard like a pianist in a concert. Around me, other parents were filming their kids, whispering encouragements that couldn't be heard through the soundproof glass. My phone sat silent in my pocket, and for once, the silence felt like freedom rather than abandonment. The 10-minute warning flashed on the screen. Several competitors had already submitted their projects and were leaning back in exhaustion, watching the others continue to work. Zara hadn't submitted yet. She was still coding, still refining, chasing perfection in those final precious minutes. "Come on, baby," I whispered. "You've got this." 5 minutes. Zara's hands flew faster. She was testing something, running her app, checking for bugs. I could see the tension in her shoulders, the way she bit her lower lip, a habit she'd had since she was 3 years old. 3 minutes. She made one final change, her fingers jabbing at the keys with fierce determination. 2 minutes. She clicked submit. The screen confirmed her upload. Then she sat back, pulling off her glasses to rub her eyes, looking suddenly very young and very tired. 1 minute. The clock counted down the final seconds as the last few stragglers submitted their projects. When the timer hit 0, a loud buzzer echoed through the hall and every screen froze. It was over. The judges announced they'd need 2 hours to review all projects and calculate final scores. The competitors were released to a break room where food and drinks waited. I met Zara at the exit, pulling her into a hug so tight she laughed. "Mom, I can't breathe." Sorry. I released her but kept my hands on her shoulders. "How do you feel?" "Exhausted." Her smile was tired but genuine. "I think I did okay. The app works, at least. I built a machine learning model that helps match food bank donations with family dietary needs. It's not perfect, but it sounds amazing." She shrugged, trying to play it cool, but I could see the hope in her eyes. "We'll see. That Marcus kid is really good. Did you see his ranking?" "I saw yours," I said firmly. "And you were incredible." We found a quiet corner in the break room. Zara demolished a sandwich while telling me about the technical challenges she'd faced, speaking in a language of algorithms and APIs that I barely understood but loved hearing. This was her passion, her gift, and watching her light up while talking about code made every sacrifice worth it. My phone buzzed. I'd forgotten I'd only blocked my immediate family, not everyone. It was my Aunt Carol, my mother's sister. "Your mother called me crying." "What happened?" "She said you abandoned Emma in a crisis." I stared at the message, then at Zara, who was now showing me her app on her laptop, excitedly pointing out features. Making her decision easy. I blocked my aunt's number without responding. Then came my cousin. Then my mother's best friend. Then my childhood neighbor. One by one, they texted or called, all with the same message. My mother was devastated, Emma was traumatized. How could I be so cruel? Family is everything. One by one, I blocked them all. Zara looked up from her laptop, noticing my expression. "Mom? Everything okay?" "Everything's perfect," I said, putting my phone away. "Tell me more about the machine learning model." The 2 hours crawled by. Other parents made small talk, but I couldn't focus on anything except the closed doors where judges were deliberating. Zara tried to act casual, chatting with other competitors, but I could see the tension in every line of her body. Finally, officials called everyone back to the main hall. Competitors filed back to their seats while parents returned to the observation deck. The energy in the room was electric with anticipation. The head judge, a distinguished woman in her 50s who'd founded 3 successful tech startups, took the stage. She spoke about the quality of the competition, the impressive skills demonstrated, the bright future of technology. Her words blurred together in my ears. I just needed to know. I needed to know if we'd made it, if all of Zara's hard work had paid off. Third place, the judge announced, with a final score of 3,247 points, goes to Jennifer Park from Seattle, Washington. The hall erupted in applause. Jennifer, a tiny girl with bright blue hair, looked shocked as she walked to the stage to accept her $15,000 scholarship. I clapped mechanically, my eyes locked on Zara, who was gripping the edge of her table so hard her knuckles had gone white. Please, I prayed to anyone listening. Please let her win something. Please let this not have been for nothing. Second place, the judge continued, and my heart stopped. With a final score of 3,289 points. This was it. Either Zara had made it or she hadn't. Either we'd have help with college or we'd be drowning in debt. Either 18 months of sacrifice meant something or. Marcus Webb from San Jose, California. The California kid looked absolutely stunned. He'd been in first place. How had he dropped to second? Which meant. And first place, the judge said, her voice rising with excitement, with a final score of 3,312 points and one of the most innovative practical applications we've seen in this competition's 10-year history, goes to Zara Chen from Chicago, Illinois. The world exploded into sound and color. I screamed, actually screamed, pressing my hands against the glass. Below, Zara had frozen in her seat, her mouth open in shock. The competitors around her were cheering, pushing her to stand up, to go accept her award. She won. My daughter won. $50,000. A guaranteed internship. Recognition from the top minds in technology. She'd done it.